Good stuff.
Great stuff.
Good stuff, everybody.
Some of the best stuff.
Gotcha. Ladies and gentlemen,
Rich.
for a lot of shows celebrating their 100, we just bring out Rachel Miner and then say goodnight. That's a show for most shows, but not us. Not us here at NJCon. At any other convention maybe, but not NJCon. Things are too important. Things matter too much. It's 100 conventions. We're celebrating 100 conventions all weekend long. NJCon goes on for 3 freaking days.
That's right.
And we're celebrating by saying goodbye to one fantastic, amazing woman and bringing on another. Ladies and gentlemen, the mother of it all, Samantha Smith! Samantha, how are you?
Excellent, thank you.
Good. Let's go with the microphone. And we're going to go ahead and say, if you're cool with it, there we go. You really are the matriarch of the whole show, because not only did your character give rise to the boys, if you know them, they are the fruit of your loins, but you also are kind of like the woman we all look up to and like makes us class up. Like when Samantha walks in the room, don't you kind of go, oh, Sammy's here. You better, ma'am.
Tuck the shirt in.
Yeah, sort of like, you'll put away the bar, like whoa. Quickly get the Coke off the mirror. I was just fixing my hair.
Untie the rubber band off your...
Get the, here's that, ladies, out. Fellas, out.
Put the drugs back up my d-hole.
Hi, Sammy. Put him in sideways. Son of a...
On that note.
We just took a complimentary, classy story, and again, we made it classless. Damn us. Ladies and gentlemen, Samantha Smith.
At least they know I'm the boss. I do. I get a lot of apologies every time I walk in a room. Oh, sorry. They say, they swear and are saying like whatever, and I kind of look at them, and I'm just looking at them, and they're like, sorry. I'm like, don't worry. It's just going in the book. I don't know why they think I care, but it's hilarious and I love it. It's always good to make a room full of men afraid, don't you think? Look at all you guys, how's it going? Friday morning? I've completely lost track of where I am, what day it is, and what time. So if I say, happy Wednesday morning, just go with it. Okay, so I always start on the right. I'm gonna start over here. Because it's Wednesday morning. Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So my question is, what would Mary's reaction to a certain man named Negan be?
Well, would his name still be Negan?
Yes.
Oh. Well, here's the thing. Don't tell him, but I've never seen The Walking Dead. I tried to watch the pilot, and I was like so grossed out. I was weird considering my role in the first episode of my show. But it wasn't like, there were no squishy noises. And you know what I mean? But more importantly, what would his reaction be to me, I think?
I feel like he would want to make you one of his wives.
Oh my god, he's got more than one?
He has a bunch.
He what?
He has a bunch, yeah.
Well, that's not gonna work. I'm all about a sister wife, but not really. So yeah, he would have to, no. So, sorry. He's cute and all, but yeah, she would just be like, no, take that bat outside. But thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi Sam, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
You were just talking on the subject I was going to ask you, and that is, do you ever find yourself falling into the mother role of Jordan Jensen?
You know, falling into that role is probably the appropriate term. In real life, I actually feel more like they're my little brothers, because they are not young enough to be my children. But I'm not good at this. See, he got it from me. It's that same thing that they were talking about. Like, they'll be fooling around, I'm like, hey, and they're like, and I don't know if they're playing or whether they're actually afraid or a little combination. I just go with it. But yeah, I think that they've both spent so many years imagining me as their mother that they can't differentiate. Somebody has to manage them, right?
Yes, most definitely.
It's not like the crew can do it. Things like go off the rails really quickly. I'm like, it's awesome.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, I was wondering if you could pick a theme song for either yourself or Mary.
A what thing?
A theme song for your life.
Themes? Oh.
For like either you or Mary. What would that be? Nice to meet you.
Well, I don't know if it's accurate, but what I would like, and actually somebody asked me this last week, is Fighter, Christina Aguilera.
Oh, that's a nice one. That's a good one.
I just think it applies on so many levels. Emotional, any struggle you've gone through. I know the song's about a bad relationship, which of course I never had any. I never had a boyfriend treat me badly, you know. That's sarcasm. But I just love it. And she's like, you think I'm sad? I'm like, no. I learned from you and now you're back there. I like it. And that applies to all experiences, right? An illness, something sad happening, like a loss, a job situation. Like it really just, it teaches you to look forward instead of back, which I think is always good. And Mary too, right? She dwelled in the past. She'd be like in a puddle in the corner. She's had it rough.
So you have both songs for you and Mary?
I think so.
That's a good choice.
The lines have blurred at this point.
Pretty much.
I don't have my own machete. So that's separate. It's like a Venn diagram, right?
Thank you so much.
Hi.
Hello. So my question is, with Dean being gone for at least a couple episodes, is there going to be any Mary bonding with Sam moments that we can look forward to?
Yes. A lot, actually. We had so much fun shooting him too. He's, in case you didn't know this, kind of a goofball. And we spent most of our time watching like videos of people crashing shopping carts. But he's so fun, and a lot of times we're having to walk and he ends up on the uphill and I'm like, really? Like we're walking on a path, can I not be on the uphill side? Like this is uncomfortable. Because you know, no one ever teases him about his height. But yes, there's a lot. I think you'll be happy.
Any sneak peek you can give, or no?
We survive. Barely. Hi.
Hi, quick question. If you could play any other role besides Mary on TV, what would it be and why?
Any show?
Any show, on air.
Whoa. I want to be a shadow hunter. Which I kind of am already, but, you know, I like the magic. Oh, or Daenerys.
Oh.
dragons. So I'll play both those roles. 6 months. You know. Thank you. Hello.
Hi, my name is KP.
Hi.
What is your favorite 90s jam?
I'm trying to think. Some kind of grunge situation, like Nirvana or Pearl Jam, or maybe a little Bon Jovi because they went into a nice little groove back then. Anything I could drive in my Firebird with the top down. I'm from New Jersey. We have Firebirds. And Bon Jovi. Thank you. Thank you. Hello.
Hello. My question is, I was wondering, you've met a majority of Team Free Will 2.0. Is there anyone outside of that that you would love to interact with in the upcoming season?
Okay, I missed the beginning. Something about Team Free Will.
I was saying you've met a majority. Yeah, of Team Free Will 2.0.
Okay.
Is there anyone in the upcoming season outside of that group that you would like to interact with that you haven't yet?
I don't know who's on the team.
Oh, sorry. Castiel, Dean, Sam, and Jack, and Rowena a little bit.
Okay.
So is there any other characters outside of that that you would like to meet?
Well, I haven't met Donna yet. I would like to spend some more time with Jody. I think I've met everyone, haven't I? I mean, I've met Bobby, I've met John, obviously. I think I would have liked to have met the Harvilles. I think we would have had a lot in common. And Meg, of course. That would have been interesting. But I got Crowley, I certainly know Lucifer, and he knows me. So yeah. Did you have anybody in mind?
Crowley, actually.
I did meet Crowley.
Oh, really?
A couple times. There was a time when, in the episode that Richard directed called Stuck in the Middle with You, when I had stolen something from a Prince of Hell accidentally. Crowley saved us, saved Castiel and us. I actually met him on camera on that episode. I'm like, oh, don't come near me. And then there was another time where Dean was going to stab him, and Sam and I were watching, and we're like, well, maybe you shouldn't kill him. You think? No, maybe, okay. Well, just don't kill him yet. I don't know what episode that was. It had to have been season 12, I think, because season 13 I spent the whole time in the other world. Oh, and he was done after 12, right? He died at the end of 12? Right. It blends together. It goes so fast. I remember it literally by where I was. I was like dirty clothes in the AU. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi.
Hey.
My question is, will we get to see Mary use her mom voice calling Chuck to help them to get Dean back?
It sounds like a good question, but I couldn't. Am I going to use my mom voice for what?
To call on Chuck and demand that he helps you out with Dean. Got it.
Oh!
Chuck. Got it. Sorry.
Oh, because he's possessed by Michael?
Yes.
No. He doesn't listen to anybody. He's the only one who doesn't listen to the mom voice, I think.
But would you like to see it?
Of course.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to be the boss of God? You! Get down here. Right now. Turn off your headphones. Let's go. Hello.
Hi. I hope you're having a good Wednesday morning.
Thank you. It's great. I love Wednesdays.
So you were a character who was unexpectedly brought back. If you could bring back any character, any season, who would you bring back?
Well, John. We need to have a conversation about how he raised the boys. But, yeah, obviously. I mean, wouldn't you? Thank you. Hi. What's your name?
Rebecca.
Hi, Rebecca.
My question is, what would Mary's reaction be finding out that John has an illegitimate son, Adam?
Well, my answer to this question has evolved. Because I realized several things. I do the math, first of all, and realized that he was conceived well after my death. So that would help. And then I think that she would be very welcoming to him because he's a part of John. But that's not to say she's going to go to hell and get him. Or let her other boys do it.
Yeah.
Or her own boy, like Sam and Dean. Yeah.
I think Jack is more of a brother to them than Adam is.
Oh, I think Mary feels way more paternal. I think she feels more maternal towards Jack than she might even to her own kids, because her own kids are like grown and don't really listen to her, and they fight, and you know, it's more of a, like, it's family, but she didn't raise them. She raised Jack, and they spent a lot of time alone in the AU, and also Alex isn't a foot taller than me, which is helpful. So we have to see. We'll have to. If Adam ever makes it out, we'll give him a shot.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Hi.
Hello. I was wondering, what are your favorite moments on set with the other actors?
It's not very exciting to say, but the truth is, it's just so comfortable and fun, and I love when people are joking around. Like, nobody ever is disrespectful to the process of trying to get the show done, because we shoot a lot in a day compared to most shows, because we've just been doing it for so long, right? But it's just the old inside jokes and the camaraderie, and how inclusive they are. Everyone gets to be a part of everything. There's not like, oh, well, you're the new person, so we don't talk to you. Everybody's in. And of course, I like when they're making fun of other people. And I can just...
So I imagine a few of them act like
What?
children, like they play, like practical jokes and stuff like that.
They do. I mean, it's more like spur of the moment, like when I can't get a line out right. There was a scene where I had to be in the FBI and I had to say my name and their name, and it was all, I couldn't do it on this one take. And like, okay, start over, and Jared paid the sound of a really, really loud, long car wreck for like a minute and a half. We're all like, you get it? Oh, okay. Right. So that's when I like it better, when he's doing that to other people. But those are just, you know, it's like being at a party with your friends, but then you're switching out and being different people.
I can imagine.
What?
I can imagine.
Yes. So it's good. It's good. We laugh a lot. It's fun. We also make fun of Brad, our camera guy, probably the most, because he's delightful, and he just takes it, and it's poor guy. He dishes it out too, but I think he's their favorite target. So, sorry, Brad. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello. So when you very first auditioned for the role of Mary Winchester, did you know she was going to die in the first 5 minutes?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm sitting in the audition waiting room. I remember it like really well. It was in Los Angeles in Nick G's office. He's a director and producer. And there were definitely people there that I recognized. And I was like, these are some pretty bad actresses to be here for this 3 lines and then die. But I had a fantastic audition that made me laugh so hard. There was, okay, so the scene goes, you know, oh, you have the baby, and there was all that. And then they had you do the scene where you wake up and you hear a noise and you go in and you see, you know, your husband's in the nursery and you're like, all right, whatever. And he's like, shh, it's fine. And then you go downstairs and you see he's actually downstairs and you run back up and you see the demon turn around, right? Well, this is very hard to do in an audition, these 3 things. Like you're standing in a room, there's 5 people at a table, and it's like, you have like from here to here. And so I do the last part, and I come running in, I'm like, ah! And I crashed into this potted tree. And I was like, it's not like I didn't see it. I stayed in the scene, and I was like, sorry about the tree. And David Nutter, the director, just was sitting there watching me. And I was like, thank you. And he goes, and I was like, like, what do you do? I didn't know at the time, like, that's his thing. Like, when he's happy and he's like, you did good, he winks at you. I was like, okay, we wink back. I think that's why I got the job, I really do.
Thank you.
Thank you. And the plant recovered.
Hi again.
Hi.
I was wondering if John comes back, which we do hope he does, would it be possible for you to try, you and John, to have another baby and try to get out of the life, or are you going to try to just get him back, just as a family, just go?
Interesting.
Because I don't know how you would, because I know how John was with the children, but would you be?
Well, he was great until his wife burned the house down. And here's the other thing. Nobody knew I was a hunter, right?
Yeah.
She didn't tell him, so he didn't know not to raise them in the life. Like, he found this on his own. So I can be sad, but I can't be mad at him. He spent his life and all, like, avenging my death. That's very romantic. But having another kid, I'm like, I'm far too old. I'm like, oh wait, Mary's only like 30. Mary's supposed to be 30, you guys. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think she would. But she could. Accidents happen.
How would you think Dean and Sam would react to another child? Because
I think they would love it. I mean, I think they are incredibly parental towards Jack, as much as they can. Like, they didn't have much of a model for parenting. Who doesn't love a baby? Okay, now I'm going to have to talk to the writers about that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hi.
Hi. So, Mary has developed a lot since she came back in season 12, and I was wondering, what were you most proud of in the way that she's developed, and what do you think she still needs to improve on?
Well, when I first came back, it was a lot for me as an actor, and a lot for Mary, right? Like, so our experiences sort of were parallel. Every time I felt like I was getting a grip on what it would be like to be back after 30 years and having adult children and all that, they would change it, and now suddenly I'm leaving or I'm having some other kind of mental breakdown. And for me, as the actress trying to figure this, like, I felt like I was chasing it. And I think Mary was chasing it too. Like, she'd feel like she was okay, and then there'd be something else. And I think that she's adapted rather well. It makes sense to me that she went back to hunting, because that's what she knows. And, you know, everything else in her life that she had built is gone. So she's not going to start over like trying to find a boyfriend and, you know, make a new family. And her boys are in the life, so of course she's going to want to be with them. So as far as proud, actually, I think what I admire, maybe is a better word, about Mary is that she doesn't make the popular choice. She does what she thinks is right. And I don't think she makes arbitrary decisions. I think she's like, this is the right thing, like working with the British Men in Letters. She had a really strong reason for doing it. She's like, I want this to end, and this is the most expedient way. You're not gonna like it, but I'm your parent, and I'm not making the popular decision, I'm doing what I think is right. And I think that's like a very selfless mother thing to do. Because you want your kid to like you, ideally. But anyone here who's a parent knows a lot of times your kids don't like you so much. And that's okay. So I admire that. And working on, I think she could probably be a little more trusting and open, which generally is not synonymous with Winchester. So that's a tall order. But she could try.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. I was just wondering, like, if Mary hadn't died, do you think that her hunting
pie?
If Mary hadn't died.
Oh.
Do you think that her hunting life would have caught up with her, and that somehow they would have fallen into that like place without her death at all?
Well, I mean, she made that deal, right? So that was going to catch up at some point. But if she could have wrangled that demon and killed him, she probably would have had to explain to John who the guy on the floor was with the knife in his heart. Oh, this guy? Funny story. But I think she was hunting all along. She said she was retired, but I mean, there was that episode, Ace of Fox, where she's like, yeah, I kind of do this on weekends. So I don't know. I don't know if she ever would have given it up fully, but I think that as her kids got older, she would have probably tried to stay out of it. So as far as catching up with her, I don't know. I mean, are you ever really out? That's the question, right? Like, somebody always calls and asks for your help, or some stupid demon holds a grudge. I don't know.
Because Sam and Dean have tried so hard to like get out of it, but they just can't. Like,
but they don't have a family with children, and so they always get back in by choice.
Yeah, that's true.
Also by necessity. Like, you know, the world's gonna blow up. Okay, I'll help. I don't think Mary she was a great hunter, but I don't think she ever was entrenched as much with the global scope of things the way the boys are. Like, she didn't even know had never met an angel, right? So, when she met Castiel, she's like, huh, what, huh? So it's not like she was in that level of... Is there a train going through? So yeah, I don't know that it would have been on that level. But I don't think Mary has it in her to just let people suffer, so she would feel compelled to help. And they would have gotten pretty hard to hide. She's coming home with like a black eye, big bloody knife, and I don't know, maybe.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sam, to piggyback off one of the earlier questions, at the beginning during the audition, did they tell you that NJCon would come back so often?
I didn't know after that, but when we were shooting the pilot, Eric Kripke said to me, well, because of the show, like, we'll totally have you come back. And everyone always says that, right? They're like, oh yeah, we'll have you come back. I'm like, have you read the script you wrote? It's pretty dead. And he's like, yeah, but it's the show, and it's first season, about 8 or 9 episodes in, they had me come back. And then a little bit along the way, what was really a big surprise was the end of season 11 for me. Because they called me in like February and said, do you want to come back for the finale? And I was like, of course. Oh, the show's over. It's been so long. 11 years, you guys. That was really great. And they're like, okay, great. And about a couple weeks later, I was at a barbecue at the house of one of the producers. And I said, I'm like, dude, I'm coming back. You didn't tell me. He's like, yeah, it's so great. I said, so what are you going to do next? Now, the show's over. And he's like, the show's not over. It's the finale. What, do they not tell you? Like, and he's like, what? No, it's the season finale. You're back next year. Why? Like, you know how this works, right? And he's like, yeah. So then I found out that I was coming back to life, but I still didn't know, like, am I really me? Am I some kind of entity that looks like me? Am I a trick? Am I a... And so I didn't know until after season 11, like, we're getting ready to shoot season 12, and I'm like, we'll see. All I knew was I was human. Like, I was really me. I just didn't know by then, like, am I going to be, like, Hunter Mary? Or more likely, am I going to be, like, vacuuming the bunker and making cookies? Like, I didn't know what was going to happen. And then Phil Segritia emailed me, and he's like, so, literally, like, 3 weeks before we start filming, how much fight training have you had? What now? I used to fight with my sister a lot. He's like, no, like martial arts. I'm like, I watched it on TV. So they sent a trainer to my house, and it was very, very sad. It took me probably 6 hours to learn how to stand. I'm like, yeah, no. It's like learning a little bit of foreign language with a new accent, right? And I'm not the most coordinated, just gonna say. Also, I don't know, my trainer was a little odd. Anyway, so then I went and kept learning or whatever, but I relied heavily on my stunt doubles to do the whole fight scenes as well, so they could cut it back and forth, because I just wasn't, like, I wouldn't hit anything. I was like, it's gonna hurt. But I've gotten much more accustomed to it, and finally, I don't know why it took me another whole year, because I should have been doing this all last year, but at the end of season 13, I was like, I should probably take some lessons, because they would help me, but with choreography and stuff. But so I started boxing in June. And now I sweat a lot, and I'm better. Still not great, but it helped a lot. So that was of the whole thing. That was the biggest surprise. That suddenly now I'm Lara Croft on TV. It's hilarious. As close as I'll ever be to Lara Croft, anyway. So it's constantly surprised. And I'll tell you what. I just read one of the new scripts, I think 8 or 9, and I literally went, oh! Like, they still surprise me. Stuff happens and I'm like, no, what, where are they going? Oh! So everything's a surprise. You guys are never surprised though, right? No. You see it all coming. You see some of it coming. I see your tweets. You're like, I knew that was gonna happen. I didn't fool them, sorry. It's because you're too smart for us, that's why. Thank you.
Hi. So the gag reel is obviously a huge hit among all the fans. And as someone who's like super clumsy, I sometimes wish that there was something for my life. So what would you say would be on the gag reel of your life?
What would be on the gag reel of my life?
Yeah, like.
Oh God, it would be so long. You know, Well, at work, my funniest stuff never gets on the gag reel because it's usually off camera. The whole first season, 12, I was so getting used to everything. My character, being on set all the time, doing all the stuff, doing the stunts. I would crash into things and fall down and slip and constantly. Like Brad, the camera, he's like, I'd walk in and slip and he'd be like, sorry. The gag reel of my life. I don't know, that's a good question, but I don't think I can come up with that off the cuff. Lots of falling down. In fact, my husband had a thing that the person he was dating fell down, he had to break up with them. He's like, I can't. If they just fall, he's like, ah. And I remember the first time I fell down, I was like, he's like, yeah, it doesn't bother me with you. I know. He just accepted that it was such a big part of my personality. I totally bit it the other day in front of my son's school. I was standing on the corner in my big, lug boots. And in LA, inexplicably, they've put these hard yellow plastic, they look like little chiclets, like squares, and they're about this big. And it's, I guess, supposed to help you not slip. And I'm standing there and I reach for the button, I'm just like, whoop! My son is like, what are you doing? I'm like, I fell! Thank you, everyone, I'm fine. Oh my God, I was playing soccer with my son in his school. This is probably one of the worst ones. They started the game early. Who does that? So I got there and I didn't have time to warm up or whatever, but I'm like, whatever, I go to the gym. Well, it was Parents Against Kids. And I get out of the field and somebody kicks the ball over my head, I'm playing midfield, so I run this way, and then somebody kicks it and I run it this way, and then somebody really boots it, so I turn around and go to sprint, and my brain's sprinting and my legs are like, nope. And I just went, right in my face, and I was like, why am I on the grass? What is happening? And 4 dads come over, oh my God. And my son is like, and he comes over, he's like, did you just fall? Why did you do that? I didn't do it on my purpose. Like, what, your knees just give out? I'm like, listen, I'm not 9. He still hasn't forgiven me. And I don't think my husband saw it. I mean, because listen, he can only forgive so much, right? So yeah, lots of falling. Thank you so much.
Hi. I was wondering, is there going to be a reckoning between Mary and Ketch? Because, he came back. When Mary saw Lucifer, after he ditched her and she punched him in the face, we didn't get that with Mary and Ketch. Because he's back and he was in the world and that alternate universe, and totally. I didn't feel like we got that, and I feel like it's missing. Are we going to see that?
Well, David and I talked about that in the episode in the AU when I saw him for the first time, right? I called Andrew, I'm like, so the last time I saw him, he had a bullet hole in his face. And now he's like, oh, am I not I'm like, obviously he needed more bullets. And he said, I guess that they just don't have time to do everything. And I'm like, that's kind of a big thing to say. And he said, no, what we think is that the boys will have told her that he's alive and that he's been helping. He's off hunting with Charlie. And that they have come to an uneasy sort of truce where she's like, don't fuck with me, I won't shoot you, for now. And so so we were like, okay, that I can do. As far as the conversation hasn't happened yet, and hopefully it will. I think there's definitely a place for it. but you can't really see it because there was so much going on, but in that episode when we all come back to the bunker from the AU, and everybody's drinking, like, I'm passing out beers. Skip catch, go over here. And he's standing in the corner, like, staring at me, and then I just ignore him, and he's mad. And then I guess Charlie or someone comes over to talk to him, I'm like, so it's that, like, don't trust him, as far as I can throw him. But for the moment, Mary is so pragmatic that he is helping with whatever it is that they need done. So, but he's on thin ice, I would say. That's how I feel.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Hi.
Hi. My first con, so I'm a little nervous right now.
Oh, that's okay. It's my first con too.
Oh my. So my question for you is, you play the famous Mama Winchester, as I like to call Mary, and I want to know what is your favorite scenes as right now.
What's my favorite scene as Mary that I've ever done?
Yeah, since we're now approaching the 14th season.
Since what?
Since now we're approaching the 14th season.
Right, or we might be 7 episodes into the 14th season. I can tell you my favorite fight scene is in season 14.
That's even better.
Oh yeah, it was fun. I have a hatchet. I told my son, he's like, why? It's awesome. I don't know. I liked a lot of the scenes in the one with all the vampires coming into the British Men of Letters bunker. I didn't have much to do, but there was a scene where Sam shot the alpha vampire, and we're all like doing secret stuff, and like it was me and Jared and Adam, and we're all doing. Do you remember the scene I'm talking about? And it was all just very dialed in, and it was the choreography of it was cool. But there's so many. Like I actually was looking back at some photos from the show. I'm like, oh my god, I forgot about that. Oh, and there was that. And there's I did love the first scene where I met Castiel, where I was going to shoot him, and I didn't know what a computer was. All of that was pretty funny. He's like, it's an angel, harp. I don't have a harp. Like that was funny.
Or how about you punching Lucifer in the face?
Punching Lucifer in the face. Well, I did end up in the AU, which wasn't my favorite, but that was good. That was good. It was very hard. Mark is very tall. And they had this weird thing where the camera's here, so I have brass knuckles on, and I have to swing from, like, his face is here, and I kind of have to go around like this. And I'm like, I'm so going to hit this man in the face. Because I have to, like... and I only did it twice. I did a left, and then a right, and then he grabbed me and I went through. But when they edited the show, because I did several takes, they just had me wailing. And I didn't have to do that, thank God. But I liked how it turned out. I was like, yeah, I did. Punch him 7 times. All those scenes with Mark Pellegrino and the AU were great too. They made me laugh. Like, it was very hard not to laugh when we were like coming through. And I loved how I got to be irreverent with him. Like, shut up. You know? It's like, me. Just, he's very fun to work with. And I hope that Mary and Lucifer have more scenes, because I feel like she's the only one who's not afraid of him. Everyone respects him, I guess. I mean, whatever. She's just like, you suck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sam Smith.
Yes.
How'd it go?
I think pretty good.
How'd it go in New Jersey? Was it all right?
They're mostly still
We cleaned up the green room, we threw away all the garbage, we tidied up, we did some sweeping.
Did you clear your browsers? Histories?
Shit. Norton, you gotta clean your browser, dude. You know what? I would just throw that browser away and start over, right? I don't think there's any clean in that browser. You know what's funny? When you said clean your browser, I'm thinking eyebrows? What is a browser? Like, what is it? Took me a second there.
Your trousers.
Yeah, clean your trousers. Billy wears trousers.
Pops.
But in fairness, Billy wears trousers no matter what you say. You want some Sam? You want something to eat, buddy? No, I'm wearing pants. What?
Alright, well, I'll go inspect the room.
Hold on, we're trying to ruin the moment. No, never mind. Ladies and gentlemen, Samantha Smith.
Thank you.
Hey Billy, you hear what the weather's like outside? Corduroy slacks.
I don't know.
It's not funny now, but wait until we celebrate its 100th joke.
Wait till all the people that are walking out get out there. They're gonna think it's funny, right? Back
Yeah,
in the lobby.
they're gonna think back to this. Remember last weekend? Anybody here last weekend for the Indianapolis show? Anybody go to that convention? We played a song, boys. We played a song in a loop last weekend. It was this tune. Simple ditty. Fun little riff.
Magic.
Just relax. Robbie?
Just the two of us.
Just this song.
Making bad jokes in the sky.
That's us.
Just the two of us.
So elevated.
Just the two of us.
And the band, of course.
Yeah. We got nothing to do but make bad jokes.
Bob and me. So we did that, and a lot of people thought, hey, that's not funny. But you know what they're thinking now? In hindsight? That was funny. Rich was right. Oh, it wasn't funny the first time, it wasn't funny the second time. By Saturday, I was ready to kill him. But you know what? As I left the venue on Sunday, I thought to myself, still not funny. But I woke up later in the week. As I reflected on the weekend, and I thought to myself, the old guy in the bad toupee and his bearded friend were right. It is funny. Absence makes the joke grow funnier. And if you don't believe me, wait until the end of the weekend when I've made so many Billy Pan jokes that you want to barf. Already you're thinking, this? I paid money for this? This is a convention? Shit! Online it looks entertaining. Well, tough darks. You're here now. You're stuck in the vortex we call the Unfunny Con world, where Rich and Rob latch onto a joke and beat it senseless. And when it tries to crawl for help, we beat it harder. Until finally, bloody and lifeless, the joke seems to wither and die before our very eyes. And then, like some kind of Christmas miracle, a week from now you wake up and think, my God! Billy and that old pan riff? Magic! Hilarious! Billy Moran in trousers. I'm gonna make a shirt. I'm gonna make fan art. I'm gonna make a little bitty pop figure bobblehead that has no pants and it's Billy Moran. Why? Because the joke that Rich and Rob made that wasn't funny the first time, the second time, or the umpteenth time, suddenly now I find funny. That's the magic of the conventions. We take what doesn't work and make it really not work and force it to be broken, and then it rebuilds itself. Speaking of rebuilding itself, ladies and gentlemen, walking over to sign more banners.
Bob and Dick beating dead horses for 100 years.
Just Sam Smith. Signing banners on the stage. There goes Sam Smith.
She's all the rage.
All the rage. There goes Sam Smith. She's got a Sharpie in her hand. There goes Sam Smith. She's wise.
She's all the rage.
She would never date the band. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, man.
You know, Robbie, sometimes we do panels, sometimes we do photographs, autographs. Every now and then